Assalamu alaikum, dear students of grade 8 biology. How are you? I hope everything good with you. Welcome back again. Today we start inshallah to solve the questions of our homework. Then we'll solve the questions of chapter 4 review and assessment. Before we start, we have to remember what the meaning atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis, I said, when the artery wall thickness because of the building up of fatty materials on the walls of arteries, causing the arteries to narrow. Also here, as you can see, the fatty materials start to building up on the artery walls, causing what? The artery walls to be narrow. Also, we studied heart attack. I said heart attack happen when the coronary artery here blocked. That means a part of the heart will not receive nutrients and oxygen enough, so causing to the cells of this part of the heart to die. So heart attack occurs when the blood flow to part of the heart muscles is blocked, causing cells to die. Then we studied hypertension. I said hypertension meaning is a disorder in which person's blood pressure is consistently higher than normal usual. For example, always the blood pressure about 140/90, while the normal blood pressure for any person or healthy person 120/80. Also, we studied that how can you maintain cardiovascular health by exercises regularly, like for example dance, walk, or ride bike, by making diet or balance in food. Make your food low in saturated fat, trans fat, and cholesterol and sodium that help your blood vessels to work properly. Also, avoid smoking. Of course, smoking make any person suffering from heart attack and cardiovascular disease. So, to avoid smoking decreases from the risk of death, also decreases from suffering from cardiovascular diseases. Finally, here, if you smoke, stopping is the best thing. After your blood pressure, after 20 minutes, your blood pressure starts to lower. After 8 hours, your risk of heart attack starts to fall. After 15 years, as I said to you, your risk of heart attack drops to that of someone who has never smoked. Now, we'll start to solve the question of homework. The question said, circle at least 3 things the teen should change, suggest ways to change them. Here, look at here. Circle at least 3 things that teen should change, suggest ways to change them. Here is 11 a.m. Ate an omelette with cheese and salt. Of course, you have to circle. 1 p.m. Played basketball for an hour. No, you have don't circle because this is very important regular exercises. 3 p.m. ate 4 slices of pizza with pepperoni. Of course, you have to circle. This is not a good thing. Watch TV also, you have to circle not good things. Ate fish and vegetables. So this is what balanced food. Don't circle here. Now ate ice cream. Ice cream filled with sugar or carbohydrates. Not good. So you have to circle around 11 here. Also 3, around 3. Also around 5, watch it, TV, and finally round 9. Now, suggest ways to change them. Of course, the teen should eat, for example, fruits and oatmeal, one slice of pizza, and ride a bike. Or repeat, the teen should eat fruit and oatmeal, one slice of pizza, and ride a bike. Now, assess your understanding. Review. Why is it important to exercise? I said when you exercise regularly, your heart muscles become stronger and stronger. So, why is it important to exercise? Why is it important to exercise? The answer will be it strengthens your heart. It strengthens your heart. Why is it important to exercise? It is strengthen your heart. Now B. How does eating a balanced diet help cardiovascular health? Now I said it. Eating food with low trans fat, saturated fat, I said, help your vessels to working well. So, how does eating a balanced diet help cardiovascular health? The answer will be, it helps keep blood vessels healthy. I will repeat the answer again. It helps keep blood vessels healthy. Now, let's go to the chapter 4 study guide. Here, in the body transport system, pumped by the transport material through. So here you have to write, in the body's transport system, blood pumped by the heart transports material through blood vessels. I'll repeat again. In the body's transport system, blood pumped by the heart transports material through blood vessels. Now, in first lesson, the body's transport system, we studied the cardiovascular system, the parts of the cardiovascular system, especially heart, and the structure and the function of the heart. The cardiovascular system delivers needed substance to cells, carries wastes away from cells, and regulates body temperature. In addition, blood contains cells that fight disease. Here, the function of transport system or cardiovascular system. Now, the heart pumps blood to the body through blood vessels. In the first loop, blood travels from the heart to the lungs and then back to the heart. In the second loop, blood travels from the heart throughout the body and then back to the heart. So the vocabularies that you have to study: cardiovascular system, heart, atrium, ventricle, pacemaker, valve, artery, aorta, capillary, and vein. In lesson 2, we studied the types of blood vessels and the function of each type. Arteries are thick-walled muscular vessels that carry blood away from the heart to the body cells. Capillaries now are tiny thin-walled vessels where materials and wastes are exchanged between the blood and the body's cells. Now, veins are large vessels with walls thinner than artery walls that carry blood from the body cells back to the heart. The next idea, the force with which ventricles contract causes blood pressure. So you have to study coronary artery diffusion, blood pressure. In lesson 3, we studied the components of the blood and the blood type and the function of each component. Blood has 4 components: plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. The marker molecule on your red blood cell determine your blood type and the type of blood you can safely receive in transfusion. So vocabulary: plasma, red blood cells, hemoglobin, white blood cells, lymphatic system, lymph nodes, platelets, and lymph. In lesson 4, we studied some diseases that occur in cardiovascular system. Also, how can you maintain the cardiovascular health? Diseases of cardiovascular system include atherosclerosis and hypertension. To help maintain cardiovascular health, people should exercise regularly, eat a balanced diet that is low saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium, and avoid smoking. So, the vocabulary of this lesson: atherosclerosis, heart attack, hypertension. Now, we start to study review and assessment. Lesson 1. Here, what sends out signals that make the heart muscle contract? Ventricle, valve, pacemaker, artery. Of course, the contraction and the relaxation of ventricle or of if your heart caused by pacemaker. So, what sends out signals that make the heart muscle contract? Pacemaker. Pacemaker. B. Pacemaker. Number 2. Now, the heart blood vessels and make up the cardiovascular system. Of course, the heart blood vessels and blood make up the cardiovascular system. Here you have to write blood. The heart, blood vessels, and blood make up the cardiovascular system. Now, number 3. Classify which chambers of the heart below are the ventricles. Through which chamber does oxygen-poor blood enter the heart? Now look to the 4 chambers. We have arteriums. Here we have 2 ventricles. Of course, the ventricles are B and D. B and D. Now, through which chambers does oxygen-poor blood enter the heart? Now, oxygen-poor blood enters through A, on the right arterium, here left, here right. I'll repeat again the whole answer. The ventricles are B and D. Oxygen-poor blood enters through A through A right atrium. Ventricle B and D, and oxygen poor blood enters through A. Now, number 4. Some babies are born with a hole between the left and right atria. How would this heart defect affect the ability of an cardiovascular system to deliver oxygen to body cells? Of course, some here we have what? Like opening, especially in babies. Some babies, of course, some holes in the heart of babies close as they grow, and some needed surgery. So here, some babies are born with a hole between the left and right atria. How would this heart defect affect the ability of the cardiovascular system to deliver oxygen to body cells? Here, right, oxygen poor blood from the right atrium could flow to the left atrium and not get to the lungs. I said if we have a hole, for example here, the oxygen poor blood that found in right atrium maybe go to the left atrium here. That allow or not allow to the oxygen poor blood to go to the lungs, the lungs there. So the whole answer will be, remember, oxygen poor blood from the right atrium could flow to the left atrium and not get to the lungs. I'll repeat for the last time. Some babies are born with a hole between the left and right atria. How would this heart defect affect the ability of the cardiovascular system to deliver oxygen to the body? Right, oxygen poor blood from the right atrium could flow to the left atrium and not get to the lungs. Now here, lesson 2. A closer look at blood vessel. Number 6. Nutrients are exchanged between the blood and body cells in the capillaries, aorta, veins, arteries. Of course, the question is capillaries. Nutrients are exchanged between the blood and body cells in the capillaries. A. Number 7. In your body carry blood back to the heart. Of course, the veins. The veins in your body carry blood back to the heart. Question number 8. Use the graph below to answer the questions 8 and 10. The graph shows how average blood pressure changes as men and women grow and older. I said to you, as a woman and men grow older, the blood vessel becoming less flexibility, that increasing from blood pressure. So here, as you can see, the rate of blood pressure, here the age. Of course, men, the green one, women, the blue one. As you can see, with more old, the blood pressure increased. Now, number 8. What is the difference in blood pressure for women from age 24 to 44? 24 for women to 44. What is the differences? or what is the difference in blood pressure for women from ages 24 to 44? As we can see, the blood pressure increases. So here the difference is about what? 11. The difference is about 11. Minus 44 from 24, it equal 11. Yes. Minus 44 minus 24 equal 11. So the difference is about 11. The difference is about 11. Why? Because here near from 100, the blood pressure here 115, here 126. Suppose 126. Yes, the difference in blood pressure, you have to minus, sorry, not the age here, you have to minus the blood pressure here. 126 minus 115. Here, 126 here, 26 minus 115 will be equal 11. So generally the difference is about 11. Number 9. At age 20 here, are men or women more likely to have higher blood pressure? Age 20 here. As you can see here, the level here reach what? 120, for example, 2 or 123 for men. For women, less. That means the men more likely to have higher blood pressure. So at age 20, are men or women more likely to have higher blood pressure? You have to write. Men are more likely to have higher blood pressure. Men are more likely to have higher blood pressure. Number 10. In general, what happens to blood pressure as the people age? As we can see, as the people grow older and older, the blood pressure will increase. So, in general, what happens to blood pressure as people age? Right? It increases as people age. It increases as people age. It increases as people age. Now, next page. Composition of blood. Now, blood components that help the body to control bleeding are hemoglobin, white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets. Of course, control bleeding are platelets. D. Circle around. D. Help to the blood to clot. 12. Contain hemoglobin. Of course, here red blood cells here contain hemoglobin. Red blood cells contain hemoglobin. 13. What is the role of plasma in the blood? Here you have to describe the function of the plasma. It carries nutrient, chemical messengers, and wastes. It carries nutrients, chemical messenger or hormones, and wastes. I repeat, it carries nutrients, chemical messenger, and wastes. Now, question 14. Is it safer for a person with blood type negative or to receive blood transfusion from type negative A blood? Explain. Of course, we studied that blood type O minus O can give all the other type, but blood type A cannot give any type. So here the answer will be no, because blood type O has anti-A clumping protein, clumping proteins. I'll repeat, no, because blood type O has anti-A clumping protein in the plasma. I'll repeat, no, because blood type O has anti-A clumping proteins. Now 15. What happens to lymph after it travels through the lymphatic system? I said the lymph go to the lymph node to filter out the bacteria, then back again to the bloodstream. So the question said again, what happens to lymph after it travels through the lymphatic system? Right, it returns to the blood streams. It returns to the blood streams. 16. How do platelets stop bleeding from a cut? Of course, right. Platelets collect at the cut and stick to the vessel. Platelets collect at the cut and stick to the vessel. They release fibrin, which makes a net across the cut that traps blood cells to form a clot. Again, I'll repeat the whole answer. Platelets collect at the cut and stick to the vessel. They release fibrin, which makes a net across the cut that traps blood vessels to form a clot. Now, question 4. Lesson 4, question 18. Cholesterol is a waxy substance that is associated with lymph node atherosclerosis, white blood cells, plasma. Of course, cholesterol is a waxy substance that is associated with atherosclerosis. 3. 19. Elevated blood pressure is called hypertension, or disorder in blood pressure, becoming the blood pressure become higher than it is normal. We called it hypertension. 20. Give 2 reasons why food choices are important to cardiovascular health. Right. A high fat, high cholesterol diet can lead to atherosclerosis. High sodium intake can increase blood pressure. So, high cholesterol and high fat diet can lead to atherosclerosis. High sodium intake can increase blood pressure. I'll repeat for the last time the answer. High fat and high cholesterol diet can lead to atherosclerosis. High sodium intake can increase blood pressure. Now, question 21. A red blood cell is moving through an artery in your leg. Describe the path that the blood cell will flow back to your heart. Also discuss one feature of the veins that helps move the cell through this path. Now here you have to write that cell will pass through arteries into capillaries and then into a vein. That we start like that. The vein will carry the cell to the heart. Now, veins are near skeletal muscles. As the muscles contract, they squeeze the veins and pushes the cells along and pushes the cell along. I'll repeat the whole answer. The cell will pass through arteries into a capillary and then into vein. The vein will carry the cell to the heart. Veins are near skeletal muscles. As the muscles contract, they squeeze the vein and push the cell along. I'll repeat for the last time. The cell will pass through arteries into a capillary and then into a vein. The vein will carry the cell to the heart. Veins are near skeletal muscles. As the muscles contract, they squeeze the vein and push the cell along. Now go to the next page. Here. Standardized test prep. Number 1. Which statement below correctly describes the diagram? Look at the diagram here. Blood vessel B and blood vessel A. Now here. A. Blood vessels A carries blood to the heart. B. Blood vessel A is where a pulse can be measured. C. Blood vessel B is where diffusion takes place. Blood vessel B carries blood to the lungs. Of course here wrong because arteries, here capillaries, diffusion occurring capillaries. Blood vessel A carries blood to the heart. Here the best answer would be B. Blood vessel A here is where a pulse can be measured. So B. Number 2. The most important function of the cardiovascular system is to transport needed materials to body cells and remove wastes, provide structural support for the lungs, generate blood pressure so the arteries and veins don't collapse, reduce blood and lymph. Of course, the best answer, transport needed materials to body cells and remove wastes. The answer A, letter A here. Number 3. Which of the following is true about blood in the aorta, the big artery? The blood is going to the lungs. The blood is dark red in color. The blood enriched in oxygen. The blood is going to the heart. Of course, about aorta, carry the blood from the heart to the other parts of the body. So this artery or aorta carry blood enriched in oxygen. C. The blood is rich in oxygen. Here you have to choose What will happen in the lymphatic system when a person gets an infection? A. Lymph becomes thicker and moves slower. Lymph nodes release more white blood cells to fight disease. Lymph doesn't return the blood to the bloodstream. Lymph nodes filter out the bacteria in lymph. We studied that what's happened if we have infection. Immediately, you have to choose D. Lymph nodes filter out the bacteria in lymph. D. You have to choose D. Finally, number 5. The correct sequence for the path of blood through the body is heart, lungs, other body parts, or lungs, other body parts to the heart, or heart, lungs, heart, other bodies of the part, or heart, bodies, other bodies, parts, lungs, heart. We studied that the blood moves from heart to the lungs, back again to the heart, then go to the other body of the part. So you have to choose C. You have to choose C. Here the answer is C. Finally, inshallah, next period we'll start to study the respiratory system. I hope for you good day. Goodbye.